Hi, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today is Monday, which is story time and makeup. And the makeup I'm going to be using, you guys, is just stuff that I haven't used in a long time or maybe used just once on the channel. So I'm just going to kind of be revisiting all of that. And yeah, you guys, if you want to see how I came up with this look and the story of how we almost lost everything, please continue watching. And if you're new today, we are so excited that you're here. And we really hope that you consider hitting that subscribe and notification bell to join our awesome family here. Okay, you guys, let's get into how we almost lost everything. Yeah, let's get into this, you guys. And again, I'm just using all the makeup that, I hardly ever use or maybe use just once on the channel or once myself. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to go back. Okay, anyone that's been watching this, these series understand that Daryl and I have really struggled our whole life financially, just in all ways, because we got married way too early. He struggled on trying to find a good job. He had just become a mechanic. He went through several, jobs, like at the oil lubes and, I think even a tire changing place. And he landed a job at a dealership. It was a GM dealership, and that was pretty good, but he was super new at being a mechanic. So, I don't know if anyone knows how mechanics are paid, but I will kind of go through that just so you get an idea. So there's usually at a dealership several mechanics, and they're all fighting for the job. And if there's good service writers, they will kind of distribute, that evenly. Well, this place did not, probably because he was so new and they wanted experienced mechanics to get the job done very quickly. So, use this here. It's the Morphe Truth or Bear. And it's pretty much just a neutral palette here. So that's what I'm using today. So yeah, we were struggling, with making money again, but it was a good job and it was a great experience for him in the dealership aspect of that. So he worked there a few years and finally, I forget how he landed this next job. I think it was somebody that he had worked with prior or went to school, had contacted him and said, hey, we need a mechanic. And the place was called Birmingham Chrysler. So, I'm like, we need to change. This isn't working, definitely, try this place. What's it, what are we going to lose? So he goes to this dealership, and it's like in a motor mall. So there's tons of dealerships, and this is important. That's why I'm telling you. There's tons of dealerships all in one place. So it's called, the mall of, to buy cars and all that good stuff. So he was super excited. He started there, and honestly, things just took a great turn. He met so many wonderful friends. He had a blast. He was happy. He was making some money, and the longer he was there, he was making more money because it was a union shop, which is very unusual for mechanics or dealerships, but it was union. So he got a lot of perks, like after I think it was 5 years that he was there. Our insurance was paid for completely. I mean, 100%. We didn't pay a dime. Even my copay when I had my first Crohn's surgery, I think, we got a bill for $25, and that was just because I used the TV. So, this is what I'm saying. It was a wonderful job. He got a raise every year, guaranteed. Just so many perks, you guys, and things were just really going well. Of course, we had our moments because the way mechanics are paid, it's by the job. It's not by hourly. No, he gets hourly wage, a set flat rate. But if cars don't come in, he don't make money. But if cars come in, he can make double. And it's very hard to budget your money. Budgeting your money can become very, very difficult because it's never the same. Again, you guys, we just had the time of our lives. We met, we were friends with so many people there. Even, like the HR gal, we would go up north. We would do like camping trips together. It was just a family, you guys. And that's honestly the only way to put it, including the managers, everything. Daryl and even the manager, they would get into these little arguments, but they were family. They always worked it out, you know. You guys, it was just a very different atmosphere. It was a great time in our lives. You know, we would all go karaokeing together. It was just amazing. Well, he worked there, I'm going to say we were trying to figure it out, 14 or 15 years. And then 2009 came, and you guys know what happened then. If you remember, everything just started crashing. It was absolutely, absolutely horrible. So, you know, we knew it was coming, and honestly, for the longest time, we were not even concerned because, again, he's in the motor mall. They were one of the biggest, you know, Chrysler dealerships in the area. You know, we were not even worried. So let me finish up this other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so you guys really thought this was going to be a neutral look. Well, I'm going to throw it off just a little bit. I had gotten this on Amazon, if you guys remember it. I haven't touched it. I have not used it once. So I want to try it today. And the reason why is these are mostly, I would say, like satin finish or shimmer. So if I can open this, let me show you what the pan looks like. So these are all the shades that you get. I mean, they're really pretty. I mean, a lot of these are going to be so fun for summer, but the one I'm drawn to right now is this one right here. So I thought I would just put that across the eyelid and let's see how that looks. And I'm just going to use my finger and see, you know, how pigmented this is. Ooh, my goodness. Oh my gosh. These are pretty pigmented. Let me just kind of tap a little bit of that off. I did not expect that. Oh my gosh, look at this. You guys, I think this palette was like, it's by LA Colors on Amazon. I want to say I paid like $3 or $4 for it, and check this out. Wow, this is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to bring that over quite a bit. Okay, I almost want to add like a little something in the inner corner. So maybe I will just add this really beautiful Snow White shade there. I'll try to use my pinky finger. Hopefully I don't apply too much. And let's see. Oh, you guys, these are absolutely beautiful. Holy, I can't believe how affordable that was for this kind of color payoff. I'm really just floored right now. Wow. Yeah, you guys, I am really, really thrown back on this palette. And honestly, like the shimmer, at least these shades here, are just so buttery, and there's no fallout. Honestly, better than some of the, shimmers that are in your higher end palettes. This is really nice. If you're a shimmer gal, this is a good little investment for $3 or $4. Okay, so let's get back into the story. So, yeah, again, we weren't concerned at all. So we just were going on. This went on for a while. It seemed like, it just seemed like it was a very slow process of people getting like the pink slip of, yeah, you're gonna need to shut down. A few months had gone by, and we're just not concerned because how big this dealership was. And at the time I was working at a dental office. I had been there like 8 years and worked the front desk as usual. And I knew it was coming time for our area to start, getting the pink slips. And I was up at the front, working with a good friend of mine, who also worked with me. And so I called Daryl at work, and I'm like, did you guys get the slip? And he said, yeah, we did. I go, that's not even funny. I go, there's people that are losing their jobs, don't fool around like that. And he kept going back. He goes, I'm not kidding. And I just couldn't believe it. My head could not comprehend it. And I thought he was just at any moment going to say, no, I'm just kidding, but he never did. And then I heard in his voice how serious he was. And he's like, no, they're shutting us down. I'm just in shock now. I'm working up at the front in a dental office, that's very quiet. And I'm starting now to go into panic mode. Okay, let's line the eyes here, you guys. I'm going to use this. I've never used it. Actually, a gal at my work, she gets ipsy, and she gets a lot of doubles. So she gave me this a while back. It's by El Maquillage, and it's just their eyeliner. So I am going to line the upper lid with this. Let's try it out. And let me show you the packaging first. So it's typical, you know, felt tip, but it is very long. I'm hoping it's not super flimsy, and this goes okay. So let me concentrate a little bit here. Ooh, I do like it. It's a slightly more flimsy than I do normally like, but it's super matte. So, not bad. That was pretty easy to do. I'm just doing a very, very soft wing today. Okay, so now we're going to move in to the complexion. I'm just going to use this on my pores. Okay, so yeah, I'm in panic mode at work, and of course, the first thing I want to do is call my mom. This is where the title of the story, how I got the title of this story. So the gal I'm working with is like, maybe she, you know, use your cell phone. I'm like, yeah. So I got on my cell phone, went out and called my mom back. I'm outside bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, Daryl, you know, they're shutting down her, you know, his shop. And she was the same reaction as me. Oh my gosh, that's not even funny, blah, blah, blah. And then I think she just, you know, after hearing me, you know, crying my eyes out, she knew I was dead serious. And, you know, she's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And this is what she tells me, you guys. I'm in hysterics at this point. Because I'm hearing the panic in her voice. It's not making it easier. And this is what my mom tells me, you know, a mother, to make, you know, their daughter feel better. Oh my God, you're going to lose everything. We laugh about this to this day. I'm on my phone, and this is seriously my reaction. I mean, I'm like, what did she just say? Now I'm almost laughing because I'm like, who says this? You know, in the middle of a crisis panic. And my mother, you know, I mean, she, and I'm like, okay, well, well, we probably are, but that is not what I was expecting to hear from my, you know, sweet mother. You know, I'm calling her for guidance, you know, to calm me down, and she's making the matters, my God, something on my face, much worse. So, yeah, I mean, we laugh about this to this day, and she knows I'm telling the story because I had to ask for permission because it is so bad. But again, it really got me out of that funk. You know, I was literally in hysterics. I honestly did not know what we were going to do. And so I'm going to use this, you guys. It's the Pixie and Hydrating Milk Mist. You know how lately I've been liking to hydrate my face before I go in with these products. So I am going to try this. Let me pump that first. There is a slight fragrance. I mean, so slight, and it really disappears very quickly. So we're like, okay, well, you know, he'll have to find another job, which was sad, again, because he was the only union shop, you know, in Michigan, I think, that I'm aware of. And, you know, we just knew it was such a great job. He had already put in 14, 15 years. He had the 401k. Um, just so much, you guys, just so much is going to change at this point. And I'm going to, you know, try this again. Where things went now is, just imagine this, thousands, I'm talking thousands of mechanics. Woo, this is sticky. Looking for the same job. Yeah. It was not pretty. You know, these dealerships really took advantage of the situation, and literally we're going to cut these mechanics, you know, rate of pay like over half. Like, it was ridiculous of what the amount of money they were going to pay per hour for mechanics. I mean, these guys are not, you know, uneducated. You have to really know what you're doing. Daryl went to school for it. It's not like, I mean, they're literally, I call them doctors, you know, for cars, because it's very complicated. It's not an easy job, mentally, physically, but Daryl was not about to work for the amount of money that they were offering. I mean, you could make probably the same amount at McDonald's, and I'm not over exaggerating. It was ridiculous. Okay, you guys, I want to try this, the Smashbox Halo. And this was the Healthy Glow All-in-One. I think I used this once or twice, you guys, and I'm not kidding you. And because it's a huge shade issue, but I want to try it again. So this has been sitting in my drawer. It was supposed to be decluttered, and it was hiding. It was in a different spot of where I normally keep my foundations. So he was hiding on me. So let's see if there's a reason for it. And I'm going to show you guys the shade. It is really, really bad. And I can't remember how much I need to use. And whoa, yeah. I mean, watch this. Yeah. So I'm going to have to do some adjustments with this. So again, yeah, all these mechanics are out for the same job, and we're really starting to get into panic mode because they gave them 30 days. 30 days, they're shutting the doors. That's that. And thank goodness we didn't have our house at that time. We had moved into a condo in Lake Orion. If you guys remembered, I really wanted my son to go to Lake Orion schools, and the house that we had purchased was in Warren, the one that burned and all that great stuff. So it was becoming time, and he was having a lot of troubles at the school he was at. So I'm like, we got to go back to Lake Orion. So we had already sold our house. Thank God. Daryl is now, I'm going out, working out his resume. I go, Daryl, we're going to have to apply even out of state, because I don't know what we're going to do. Daryl knows nothing else really, that would, give us the amount of money that we needed to live on. That's all he knows is mechanics, or anything with a dealership. He even tried like going to the big three. Well, they weren't hiring either. I mean, they were going through a bankruptcy, if you guys remember. It was just chaos, nightmare for many people. We weren't the only ones going through this. I mean, it was a lot of people. It was devastating. I was working on his resume, and I sent this out. I forget what it was. It was like almost like a mechanic, kind of like an Indeed, for mechanics. So, we put that out there, and then he got a couple offers, but again, just insulting wages. And then he got one that called from Virginia, and they literally hired him over the phone on the spot. They said, if you want to get down here, you got the job. Yeah, guys, this is where I say things happen for a reason, or I just believe in fate a lot, because he had a cousin that lived in Virginia, literally probably 40 minutes from this dealership. I mean, what are the chances? Out of all the states he applied, Virginia calls, and there's somebody that lives in Virginia that he can go stay with while, he looks for a place and gets settled. So he left without us, without Kurt and I, and I want to say that all went down in June or July of 2009. He left, and, in search of, getting his job, getting settled. Okay, let's pause here and take a look at this foundation. It is very, very glowy, but it is pretty. Now that I did do, the change of the shade, it's not super high coverage or anything. Just gives a, whoa, it's a nice, wow, that is a glow. I mean, if you want to glow, this is a glow. And I can't remember if it turned oily on me. Right now, it does not feel oily. It actually feels a little dry, which is, I'm a little confused. Kind of glad I did not declutter this now. This is really pretty. I'll let you guys know how it holds up, but again, I'm getting a massage, so we got to give it a little slack, but yeah, I'm pretty impressed right now. Okay, and then for concealer, I'm going to actually mix 2 shades here from The Ordinary. I'm just going to mix these 2 shades together to come up with my perfect shade, because one's really light and one's really dark. So back to the story. Yeah, so he went down to Virginia, and Ended up finding the cutest place, you guys. It really was. Oh, let me backtrack because at that time I didn't even know what it looked like. You know, he just found it, you know, signed a contract and came back, you know, to get Kurt and I. So it comes time for, well, prior to that, you know, we had a lot of good, you know, going away parties. You know, we got together with his work, you know, the people from there. We all said our goodbyes. It was very, very sad, you guys. It was one of the hardest times in our lives, you know. For Kurt, he was still in school, you guys. He was going into, I want to say his 11th grade year. Kurt was a very hyper child. Um, and people really held that against him, and it followed him, you know, even into high school. So, you know, he just had a hard time with, you know, making friends, girlfriends, anything. So for him to move, he was really excited. You know, he's like, okay, you know, I wanted to change anyway. So luckily, Kurt, you know, like I said, he's the best kid. You know, he just really is very easy, you know, to enjoy. You know, he's just, yeah, a little angel. So anyway, so he's still in school, and now we're having to move. And so again, Daryl came, you know, to Michigan, you know, to come get us, pack all of our stuff up. And the day comes that we are moving. We have the truck filled to the brim with our stuff, got rid of a lot of stuff. And now Kurt and I are going to a state we've never been to. We have no idea what the place looks like. I knew it was a condo, and that's it. Pulling out of the driveway with my family there. And if you know the dynamics of my family, let me explain that a little bit. At the time, we were inseparable. It was my oldest sister, my mom, and I. Whenever we moved, we tried to move super close to each other because we were like three, you know, musketeers, the three stooges, three everything. I was almost still very attached to my mother, which is unhealthy. It was almost to an unhealthy way. I was just so attached, and the thought of me now having to leave my mom and my best friend, my oldest sister, it was really, really bad. So we taken off. All of us are bawling our eyes out, and we head on our journey to, you know, Virginia. The further we got, you know, it was a little better. And then I'm looking around. I'm not seeing a lot of American cars. It's all like foreign cars. You know, this is the things I'm looking for as we're driving down there. So the closer we're getting, the hotter it's getting, and yeah, the traffic is just ungodly because where we were moving, it's Northern Virginia, so it's very close to the DC area. And you can imagine, you guys, it is just chaos there. So at first we're like, oh my gosh, what are we getting into? Well, we get to the condo, and it was adorable, you guys. It was on the most beautiful property. It was 3 stories, so it had like a little small, you know, basement, a middle floor upstairs, a huge patio on the out, you know, downstairs, you know, walkout patio. On the upstairs, you know, in the middle floor, there was a nice balcony. It was beautiful. It's honestly one of the nicest places that we had lived our whole life. So I was super excited about this, you know. Had a beautiful, I mean, beautiful public pool. And it was just absolutely beautiful. There was a huge pool for everybody, and you walk around, and then they had a private pool for 18 and older. How nice is that? You know, for me, you know, my kid was pretty much grown, so it was nice, you know, that we had an option just to go and have a peaceful time at a pool, you know. Um, so Kurt started school. He was so popular because, here's the funny part, you guys. They said we had an accent. So all these people were drawn to Kurt because of his accent. Nobody knew his past, you know, that he was a little hyper kid, you know. So it was really, things were going wonderful in Virginia. The first 2 years were amazing. We went to DC, like, I don't know, the first week we were there. You know, I've never been, you guys. Prior to that, I really had never been out of Michigan other than living in Italy. We had gone maybe to Florida or something, but really, I just never traveled because I lived in my little box, my little safe place with my family. And so this was just very huge for me and it was exciting. And so we went to Washington, D.C. We went to go to the memorial, Arlington Memorial. And, but things started getting a little crazy again because I could not find a job. I've been in dental since 89. This shouldn't have been difficult for me, but I was having a, very hard time because they wanted bilingual, people, to work in the offices because they're by DC, so they're very, very diverse there. They have, just a lot of different, nationalities and all that living there, because they work in DC, whether it be the Pentagon or whatever, you guys, military, tons of military in that area. So I was having a very, very hard time and I was bored out of my mind. I'm like, I'll never forget. I'm like, if I vacuum this condo one more time, I'm gonna lose it, But I became very good friends with the squirrels. I would go out there and feed them, and to a point where they were coming up and eating out of my hand, you guys. I mean, it was insane. So I just needed a job, and I needed one fast. So I applied, for a lot of places, and this one place called me, and I knew right off the bat I shouldn't have taken it, you guys. I knew right off the bat, the type of place I like working at is more, I like family dentistry. I don't like the mills where they, want thousands of patients and they don't really care about you. I'm telling you, you probably know, if some of you who have ever gone to any of those type places, they don't care. You're literally just a number. They're trying to get as much money out of you as possible, and that's what this was. And I should have known when I did the interview because it was like this main guy, it was like very cult-like, you guys. It was bizarre. So because he had several of them, he had like a franchise of these dental offices. Here's what he says. He says, well, here, how did he say work comes first? I think he may have put God second and then family. Why would I take that, you guys? But I was desperate. I was desperate. We needed, money. I mean, Daryl was doing okay, but not, the best. He's the new guy, they're not giving him great work. So I took this job. I was miserable, absolutely miserable. Let me show you something really quick, you guys. I actually got this when I did, when I got my gift card from Amazon. I also got this. I totally forgot about it. And so I'm going to show you. It's by a Koki. It's called their Soft Gradient Blush. And this is in the shade Flushed. And look how it this is how it looks. How beautiful is that, you guys? Remember my Moira brushes? I can't talk today. But look at that. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Again, very similar to the Moira brushes. They're kind of like gradient like that too. You guys, I don't know if I showed you. This is the bronzer I used, and I really like it. I'm going to have to bring that out more often. Now I am looking for another job. I'm like, I got to get out of this place. This place is, oh, it was almost just sickening. So I did a work interview with some guy, and he just said, you are qualified, blah, blah, blah. We would love to have you, but this is just way too far. And I'm thinking it's only, 17 miles, He knows better. You guys, the traffic there is ridiculous. It would have taken me 2 hours to get there. That's how bad this traffic is there. He just knew better. He's like, this is just way too far for you. This is not going to work. So I'm still at the other place. I'm still looking for a job, and I get this phone call from this lady, and she said, I heard you're looking for a job. And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, well, I have one to offer you. This guy that I did the work interview for had actually referred my name to her. So I got this job and for Arlington, and then it was great, you guys. It was like in a high-rise building, but it was a family dentistry. They were very generous with their pay. There was bonuses. It was probably the best, I've ever done in dentistry. So that was really, really nice. So we're doing really well, you guys, in Virginia. Of course, every day I am calling my mom or my sister because I am just like homesick. I'm actually going to spray my face with my Stage Proof Matte Setting Spray by Kimchi. I haven't used this forever. Now, this is more like of a matte finish, so I'm interested to see what it's going to do, but because I'm really loving all the products so far. Actually going to be a little generous with this again because I'm getting a massage, so I'm going to spray my sponge. So yeah, you guys, I'm gonna say the first 2 years was wonderful in Virginia. And we did end up losing so much. I will tell you that. You know, we went down to one vehicle. We didn't have the cars that we had. Our 401k was pretty much wiped out because of the economy. You know, the stock went pew, and everything that Daryl had basically put into the 401k at that time was either lost. He had gone like high risk, which is really dumb. But at the time, you know, he was making a lot of money, but it was taken very quickly too. Being in the union meant nothing. We got nothing from them. I mean, they literally said bye. You know, after all the money, after all the dues that we had paid into this union, they just, that was it. Bye. You know, you don't get nothing. And so we did lose a lot. We lost the 401k, you know, whatever was left in there was for the move. To move is very expensive from, you know, state to state. So yeah, you guys, the first 2 years, like again, it was wonderful. We had a blast. We met a lot of wonderful friends. It was exciting, you know. We would go on the boats. There was a lot of that kind of thing there, you know, the water, you know, you wouldn't think so, but there is. There was the Potomac River, which is huge, that leads into the ocean. We did a lot of boat rides into that. It was a great time. My family came down. There was so much to do when they came down, you know, that you don't have to have money. You know, you go to Washington, it's basically free, you know. We would pack picnics and, you know, eat right there by like the World War II Memorial. We're in the mall, you know, Washington Mall, you know, where they have the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, Vietnam Wall. I mean, you guys, it was just so exciting. And you know, Maryland wasn't far from there. It just was a blast, you know, the first 2 years. Kurt did well. He finished school. He started college in Virginia. And things were just going great, you guys. And we were really having a good time. And honestly, yeah, it just drew, you know, our little family closer because, like I said before, I left. I was very attached to the hip of my mother and my sisters, and poor Daryl, he was kind of left in the dust a lot of times. So, really quick, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going in with this item mascara. This is a very, very nice mascara. I got it in my BoxyCharm. So anyway, you guys, you know, we were doing really good. After 2 years though, I started becoming sick again with my Crohn's. And I've had two surgeries. The first one was in my 30s when I was diagnosed with Crohn's, and then the second one was happening while we were in Virginia. And I had no one down there to really help me because when I get these surgeries, they take out a lot of your colon and they cut you, you know, up and down, not side to side. So I'm down for the count for at least 6 weeks. So my mom did come down and she helped me, and it just really started making me think, do I really want to be down there? With my situation. You never know when these things are going to happen to me. I'm not that normal Crohn's patient. Yeah, I just not. It's when it hits, and it's bad. I mean, I take things, maintenance, you know, I do a shot every week, you know, to control it. But yeah, sometimes it just happens. So anyway, now my head is starting to think, do I really want to be down here? And then we started having people passing away and my family and Daryl's family, and we're like, I'm thinking to myself, do we really want to just come home for funerals? This is ridiculous. I want to go back home. It was really becoming a lot. And I think, the stress of the drive, being in traffic, really, unsettled my Crohn's situation. I was very, very stressed after 2 years. Again, like I said, we were having a blast, and then things weren't just fun anymore. I mean, I'd be in tears, in traffic on the way home. I started using the metro a little bit, which is that subway. But, that just takes just as long to get home sometimes, if not worse. People are just rude on there. Chivalry's dead. I mean, they literally will push you out of the way to get on, one of these trains to get home. It was just chaos, you guys. So yeah, I really wanted to come home. So I'm really liking this look, you guys. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay, for lipstick, you guys, I'm actually going to use this Runway Rouge lip liner. These are so nice. I love their lip liners. And this Lift Fill, oh, it's by Eye Method. It all came off here, the writing, but I used their other one in the last video. I love these. So anyway. So you guys, yeah, I'm wanting to come home. And here's where fate comes in again, you guys. So I went home for a visit, and I'm, telling them this is after my surgery. I healed and all that good stuff. Now I'm home for a visit, and I'm visiting my older sister. Her and I went to a bar, and we were playing Keno. And you guys, I'm the type of person that you would think differently. I'm going to guarantee you're going to be shocked at this. I am not one to just strike up a conversation with a stranger. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. So anyway, this guy comes into this bar and he's dressed really, really, really nice. And I don't know, he just caught my eye. I'm like, wow, that's a, really sharp dressed guy. So anyway, he comes, right next to me, and he must have known the bartender, because they're like, oh, happy birthday. For some reason, you guys, I go, happy birthday. And he goes, oh, thank you. And somehow it comes out that he is I can't remember, general manager or owner or something of a dealership in Michigan. And a car dealership. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my husband's a mechanic. I go, how are things, here in Michigan now? Have things gotten better now? 4 years have gone by, you guys. So he's like, oh yeah, things are doing great, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really? I go, I would love to move back home. My husband, he just, needs a job. And he goes, have him call me. Gave me his card. He goes, have him call me. You guys, fate. What did I tell you? So Daryl calls him. The guy hires him on the spot. No interview, no nothing. Here, you can start, blah, blah, blah. We're packing our stuff. We're coming back home. I mean, that was another story in itself, But we're packing our stuff. We're coming back home. I had never been so happy and excited in my life. Another thing that just, is kind of coincidental or fate. This house here that we're living in was available to purchase. Daryl's grandmother had passed away and left, this inheritance, to his dad. So we basically are buying the home from his father. You guys, it just, like I said, it was just fate for us to come back home. Everything just worked so perfectly during that time. But yeah, you guys, there's so much more in there, but that's the gist of it, of how we did almost lose. Well, basically, we did lose everything and had to start all over. And I will say the move was needed for our family dynamic. Excuse me, for our family dynamics. Daryl and I and Kurt became inseparable. We became so much more closer. I found myself, I was so, like I said, so attached to my mom and my siblings. I found myself, I'm stronger than a lot stronger than I thought I was. And, we all just kind of went our way. And now it's okay, that we don't latch on to each other. Yes, my mother lives with me, but, we still would have been fine. We always will take care of our parent, you know, if we can, you know, and you know, she does a lot. But anyway, you guys, that's the story of it. You know, it just was needed. I'm so glad we did it. And it was a great experience. I have no regrets that we did go to Washington, or, you know, Virginia. And yeah, you guys, and that's the story of this. And I'm not sure what next week's story is going to be, you guys. I have a few to tell, but I'm not sure what order I want to go yet. So it might be the break-in that I was talking about in a few videos back, or last video, but I'm thinking I will tell that story. So make sure to tune in next Monday. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for being here. And if you did enjoy today's video, please hit that like button. It really does help my channel. And everything that I use will be in the description box below. I love you guys so much. See you Thursday. And until next time.